Yo everybody, what's poppin'? It's your boy MastaStef here to give you some info on Pokken Tournament. Now, I've been playing Pokken Tournament a lot lately because, I don't know, I just find this game beyond fun. And I just watched DreamHack Top 16 for Pokken, and yo, that was so ridiculously good. Like, I was skeptical at first because it started out kind of but yo, once we got to top 16, every match was just like amazing. So anyway, I'm gonna move on. This video is kind of like a vlog, the new series I'm planning to start doing, talking about games and stuff, whatever. So I'm going to start with Pokken today and give you my impressions on Pokken Tournament as a fighting game, what I like about it, what I hate about it, how I think it's going to fare as far as other fighting games go, basically that kind of thing. So let's get started. So, as you may or may not know, Pokken Tournament is a game that came out about a month and a half ago. It's a Pokemon fighting game made from the creators of the fighting game franchise Tekken, hence Pokken, or I guess it would be Pokken, but I don't care. It doesn't matter whose tournament it is, I'm just playing it. So Pokken is a weird mix of like a Naruto Storm-esque kind of game, Tekken, and then like it somehow blends a traditional fighting game with it. As strange as that may sound, the game is actually pretty fun. No, scratch that, it's actually loads of fun. I'm a big Pokemon fan, like I'm one of the biggest Pokemon nerds you could meet. I have like Pikachu jackets and stuff, I'm not even gonna get into it. But despite that, I actually didn't care about Pokken when they were first announced it. Like I was like, oh cool, it's a Pokemon fighting game, everyone was waiting for that. But I didn't actually find it super interesting. I was just like, it looks kind of like a party game. I'm not really worried about it. Then it was like, I got announced at EVO, and I was just like, why did they put this game at EVO? No one's going to want to play this game. It's going to be dead on arrival. But that was before I actually played it. At the final round this year, final round 19 in Atlanta, Georgia, I got to play it for the first time, and I instantly fell in love with it. Like, I just had so much fun playing the characters. Just the game just felt really good to me. So I came home and immediately bought the game. I even got the Hori Pokken Tournament Pro Controller to play the game with because I loved it so much. But yeah, despite the game being a weird mix of like genres, it's actually tons of fun. It's really simplistic in design, and the scheme makes it easy for new people to pick up, but it also has enough mechanics and depth in the game to make it more challenging competitively than it looks at on the surface. Like, it looks like a party game on the surface, but it gets way deeper than that, trust me. So I'm gonna jump right in on what I like about the game. So first off, what I like about it initially, and I'm gonna say this over and over again, but it's just a lot of fun to play. It's fun to play and it's fun to watch. Just watching the game is super hype. Like watching DreamHack earlier was just the hypest thing for almost no reason. I've even had friends of mine that don't care about fighting games watch me play whenever I made top 8 a final round. I'll play it on stream, tell my friends to watch it. They don't normally watch fighting games or care about it, but they just watched it and they were like, this game is amazing, it looks like so much fun. We were rooting for you all the way, it was great. Like, it's super colorful and there's tons of stuff going on, so it's really easy to get engaged. And like I said, it can be hyped for no reason at all. You just be watching it and random stuff's going on and just like, oh my god, what's happening now? Oh, he got the grab. Yo, it's just so good. I'm sorry, I'm fanboying way too much right now. I'll move on. But yeah, from a more mechanical standpoint, one thing I like about it is that finding new ways to play the game is really interesting. And what I mean by that is avoiding the attack triangle. And for those of you who don't know, the attack triangle is a system in Pokken that basically has this rock, paper, scissors effect. The main actions in Pokken to attack are attacks, like hits, normal hits, grabs, and counter attacks, which are kind of like armored things that will charge through normal attacks and then hit you out of them. Sort of like a focus attack from Street Fighter 4 if you ever played it. And the way the attack triangle works is that attacks beat grabs beat counter attacks, and counter attacks beat attacks. So at a glance, it makes the offense seem really simple. You pick a right option, and if you guess wrong, you pay for it. If you guess right, you get a reward. And if you pick the same option, then you kind of peter out and nothing happens. But there are ways to beat it, and finding ways to avoid it adds more depth to the game, as well as the different mechanics, because you can fake out some counterattacks, or some attacks have counter-piercing properties. For example, I play Pikachu Libre, or as I like to call it, Rainbow Pika, R-Pika for short. This is a play on R-Mika from Street Fighter, and she's a wrestler, blah, 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 whatever. But she has this one attack string that breaks through armor. So what I'll do is, on Wake Up, I will do the attack string, and if they attack me, they get counter hit. If they go for a grab, they get counter hit. And if they go for a counter attack, it'll pierce through the armor and they get hit anyway. So it makes this mind game of them thinking, oh, I can't do any of my options, what do I do? And then it makes them afraid to do anything, so then I get to go for a bigger mind game and go for something else. But that's just one small example of how you can break the attack triangle to make things more interesting. Another thing about it is because it's really simple and the combo system isn't super complicated, it gives you time to discover and create new things to add depth to the game's overall system, which I find fun personally, which is weird, I know, but that's just one thing I enjoy about the game. That and the mental chess you have to play with your opponent is more creative and apparent in Pokken than any other fighting game, in my opinion. And I find that really fun. Because a lot of things in other fighting games create depth in a weird way, but Pokken is so simple that the depth is just there. Like, you know, these are your options, you have to play around what your opponent's going to do, and it makes getting into your opponent's head a lot more fun. Another thing I really like about the game is that all of the characters are super unique. Even though there are technically 2 clone characters with Pikachu Libre and Pikachu and Mewtwo and Shadow Mewtwo, every character feels insanely unique and has a lot of personality. No 2 characters feel similar in the slightest. And even with all the multitude of assist characters to choose from, even if 2 people play the same character, they can play that character completely differently and it feels like playing 2 separate characters. I kid you not. It's actually ridiculous. So yeah, I really don't think Pokken should be slept on because it's not as simple as it looks. There's always a way to find something new in the game since there's so many characters and so many assists. And since it's really simple, it's easy to discover things. So you're not worried about practicing execution on your combos over and over again. You can jump right in and figure things out. I think the best way to describe Pokken is easy to play but difficult to master. There's definitely more to Pokken Tournament, the Pokemon fighting game than meets the eye, trust me. Now, I can ramble on about why I love Pokken all day, but before I do that, I should probably talk about the things I don't like about it because the game is not without fault in the slightest. First of all being is that the biggest mistake that Nintendo made or Namco made when developing Pokken was their local versus play system. If you don't know how it works, basically if you want to play Pokken locally against another human optimally, you would need 2 Wii U's and 2 copies of the game. Otherwise, one player has to play via the Wii U gamepad, and the other player has to use whatever controller they want and play on a separate TV screen. And both screens only display at 30 FPS as opposed to the normal 60 FPS. So that's a really big drawback, especially if you're trying to play competitively or like have a setup at your local scene to play against other people, because you have to take up so much space and have basically $500 worth of equipment right there to play with a friend. Another big issue I have with Pokken is the lack of a decent training mode. Every fighting game player can tell you that training mode is crucial to figuring things out and getting better at the game. Granted, it isn't completely necessary, but it is a great tool to have. Pokken's training mode isn't the greatest thing for testing or learning new things because of how it's made. You can figure out cool new combos for your character or test out really basic things like how to punish certain moves sometimes, but you can't practice super specific things in Pokken, which leaves you to either needing a friend there to help you test something out or testing things out in the middle of a match, which doesn't always work out very well because matches can be completely random and you can't always account for everything that someone's going to do in a match. Also, since the game is very simplistic, everything might get figured out really quickly, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it does leave the possibility of the game becoming stale, which could hurt the game in the future. So if everyone figures everything out really quick, people might be like, oh, everything's really, optimized and simple, so there's not as much interest in the game anymore, so it can kind of hurt the game overall. And the biggest thing that I really don't like about Pokken is the fact that it's a Pokemon fighting game. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Pokemon, and I think the idea is great, and I'm sure everyone has been waiting for this game since Pokemon was conceptualized. But since it's Pokemon and a fighting game mixed together, a lot of people might not take it 100% seriously, which can hurt it. Because much like Smash had to fight for its right to be considered a real fighting game, and even now some people really don't consider it a fighting game. They just still think it's a party game. And Pokemon will basically have the same issue since it's Pokemon, which are these cute little animals that do whatever, are duking it out and trying to be serious, and it doesn't really fit with a lot of people. Some people just don't like the idea of Pokemon in a fighting game. Some people don't like Pokemon in general, so putting it with a fighting game would definitely cut some of its fan base in half. But we don't know if it'll actually hurt or help the community out in the long run, only time can really tell. Now with that being said, Pokken can go either way right now. I feel that its competitive future will ultimately depend on both the community and the support Nintendo chooses to give it. I honestly feel that despite what happens next year, people will continue to play Pokken, but it will be up to the community to pull more players in. If Nintendo does another Pokken Championship Series next year, then I think the game will continue strong into the year. But that also depends on how well the Tournament Season 4 goes this year. With DreamHack going on now and more events coming up in the near future, the game is looking to have a pretty strong tournament showing this year. But if tournaments this year don't do well, or if Nintendo decides to stop supporting it into the next year, the game may be put into limbo. Since Pokken is such a strange type of game, it can be easy for it to die out, like a lot of anime fighters tend to do sometimes. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Honestly, only time will tell, but I think Pokken has what it takes to continue to grow as a competitive game. I honestly think out of almost all the fighting games out right now, it has the highest potential for esports production. And with Nintendo being able to back it, it definitely doesn't seem super unlikely, but we'll have to see what the future holds. Well, that about wraps up this video for now. That's my impressions on Pokken so far. Like I said, I love the game. It's great. We'll see how my impressions change in the future though. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. I plan to do more vlogs like this as well as a few guides. I'm currently working on a Pikachu Libre guide tutorial video, and I want to put a lot of work into making it really nice, so expect it soon, but not too soon. Also, watch out for more content overall. We'll be uploading a variety of videos soon, so expect it. There will also be more streams on our Twitch channel, but I don't have a set schedule yet, so if you want to follow us and just see when we go live, go for it. It's twitch.tv/level482gaming. I'll inform you when we get something consistent, but don't expect anything immediately, but I'll try to work as fast as I can. Thanks a bunch for watching this video and listening to me ramble on. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel to keep up with the onslaught of content in the future. I'll also be uploading gameplay vids on our other channel, youtube.com/level482gaming, so check that out if you want to see that. Till next time guys, MastaStef signing out. Peace. Alright, one more thing. We'll be doing a giveaway for a Hori Pokken Pro Tournament controller on both Facebook and Twitter. You can find the link in the description below or on an annotation of this video. We'll be giving one away on Facebook. If our Facebook page gets to 250 likes and the post we make gets to 100 shares, we'll give one away there. And we'll be doing one on Twitter as well. If our Twitter gets to 150 followers and our tweet on there gets to 50 retweets, we'll give away one on there as well. This giveaway will be going on for 1 month, and we'll announce the winner on June 8th to give you a chance to practice with your new controller just in time for CEO. As always, thanks for watching, enter the contest, and we'll see you guys later.